obviously coming up this weekend, Liverpool versus Newcastle in the cup. How are you seeing Newcastle as an opponent in the cup final? Obviously, probably a new opponent for you in sort of recent times in terms of a cup final. What's your thoughts going into the game?
I've always seen Newcastle as a massive threat this season, and it all was like I don't know how that hasn't got in. I don't know how that hasn't gone in. I thought that was in. Anyway, so yeah, I do see absolute respect for Newcastle because this season they've been just been on fire. There's some of their players, the midfield, Tonali, Gamerish, Joelinton, even Murphy's had a brilliant season. Gordon being out is a big one. Again, if Trent's out, then they could have took advantage of that. What they do with that, I don't know. Who do you play out wing? So Gordon, who goes out and wide.
Was it Barnes?
Barnes.
Right, okay.
Willock is another.
Not as good as Gordon, but it's still decent winger. So yeah, it is. I do respect them a lot. They're a very, very good team. There's a couple of players that I want at Liverpool. Specifically Isaac and Lewis Hall I've been looking at myself. And Lewis Hall on that wing on that side as well with Trent. That's a very interesting one. But yeah, very respectful side, very good this season. I think they could be higher up to how good they are. I think they're better than where they are right now in terms. I think they've been better than Chelsea most times of the season. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Not usually seen Newcastle get this far, but I think they've got a cup in them. Just hopefully not this season.
It's been a great run, and so I'll come to you, Newcastle lads. Obviously, a couple of years ago, you made the final, a game that was a happy day for me, one very happy day in amongst many not very happy days. But what are you seeing as the difference this year to that year? Because if I recall going into that one, you had that tremendous run of form, and then it dipped off a little bit towards as if kind of all the eyes are on it. And do you think, start with you, Daz, do you think they've learned a lot from that? And particularly Eddie Howe's learned a lot in how they managed coming up to the final?
Yeah, I think so, because it was a massive build up towards it, and after the takeover, things we're going to win something. It was all kind of building up to that crescendo, and then even the celebration in Trafalgar Square before the actual day of the match, and then also the negative side of things where Bruno had been. Had got a red card. He was missing for a few of the games in the lead up to that. He came back and was kind of straight into that cup final, and then we were missing Nick Pope and then Dubravka, who was at Man United for part of the season. We ended up playing Karius in goal, so it did not go to plan. And then on the day, we just did not turn up at all. It was, and Casemiro had a great game actually, but we did not turn up. So this time we go in as underdogs for sure. We have no Gordon, we have no Botman, we have no Lewis Hall. But we have two goalkeepers, and it's just who will play, Nick Pope or Martin Dubravka on the day. Martin Dubravka, who has been our cup goalie and who has done so well, and then now Nick Pope has got back in the last few games of the league. If we go with our normal 4-3-3, the team nearly kind of picks itself the options we have now. It'd be depending on the goalie, then would it be Tino, Byrne, Schär, and Trips. Then we've Tonali, Joelinton, and Bruno in midfield, and then you've got Isaac up top with Murphy on the right, and probably Barnes on the left. Now there's options for Willock and a few more, but it's going to be difficult for us. But on the day, I think it can happen. With having Isaac in the team, he's a game changer, and he tends to get the better of Van Dijk. So it'll be all eyes on that battle on the day.
He's definitely the X factor, and I think, say from a neutral perspective, to see Isak doing a final would just would kind of cap off what's been the fantastic couple of seasons really for him at this point. Pete, in the past, you've had probably against Liverpool, or the games I've seen against Liverpool, the most trouble you've caused them has been in those wide areas and taking advantage and being good. Do you think that's a real key part to the final on Sunday?
Yes, because from the news that we've just heard tonight, even more so.
There you go. Yeah,
there are key areas of where we tend to win games. our game our game plan tends to be played out on either side of the wing. And look, we would always naturally lean to the left-hand side. The reason being is because Anthony Gordon's been that good, particularly in the last year. And so we do lean on him to be able to create and cause problems going that way, to create openings. Jacob Murphy's been a bit of a surprise for us because he's always been a bit of a squad player, but he has actually put the numbers up in goals and assists to create those problems. And I do think they're very much are in. I look at Liverpool, even before Trent Alexander's injury tonight, and you always find there's a chance to beat him. There's a chance to get in. Defensively, there are holes in his game, and you can exploit him. You go back to the game end of November at St James's Park, and Gordon really kind of did a number on him a number of times during that game, and actually scored one of the goals by cutting inside on him and scoring a lovely finish to make it 2-1 at the time. And then you look at Robertson, and who looks like he's sort of on the way down. He's declining. He's not that intense and high level as he was a good few years ago. And you've seen him be exploited on the left-hand side. So you're looking like you're thinking, there's a chance there. But, when you're missing your main players, when you're missing Gordon, and, we're lacking a right winger, but Murphy's been in a little bit out of form the last few games. You're just thinking, can we just have one game where they're at it? And that's probably the positive thing for me, because watching the game on Monday night, there was big question marks about Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes is a good player, but he hasn't played a lot of football in the last year or so, through injury, through lack of playing time because of Gordon. So it was nice to see him have a decent game. He was active, he was in the box, he was looking to try and score, he was the creator of the goal. That fills him with confidence that if he is the man to lead the line and start, that he's got that under his belt in his locker already, and he can get the beating of them. Now, I don't know who's going to play right back for Liverpool if both Bradley and Trent Alexander are out on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see who actually plays there. But for me,
Kwanzaa.
Yeah, with Kwanzaa's there now. And we ain't got Gomez either because he's out, isn't it? So
yeah, and I think there was a point in the game where Kwanzaa was playing right back against Newcastle, and I could be wrong in terms of general, but in that game he didn't play well either, on that right hand side.
Yes, I remember that.
And he did get beat time again. Now, Barnes is a different player to Gordon. He won't go at you, he won't attack you down that side, but if you allow him to cut inside, he'll destroy you, because that cut inside and shot from an angle is how he's made his name. And so having someone that's not a traditional right back can actually come into our favour. So I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit more excited about our attacking intent going into Sunday. Of course, we've got to be able to defend the plethora of talent that Liverpool have got. But Sam, I'm glad I've been on with you tonight, because you've. I'm walking away.
Raised your spirits.
A little bit more confident.
87 minutes, is it?
Confident than I was before.
There
the Daz.
It's gonna be an interesting one. And so, but one of the battles, Damon, I'm looking forward to in particular is probably in that midfield. Where I look at Newcastle and that kind of core strength that they've been fantastic. So as you said, Tonali, Jolinton, stuck in there, of course, with Bruno. It's fantastic three against your three, which obviously has been superb, but obviously still playing at the moment, and we'll want to get through and get out of there and get rested. Do you see that as a key element to test that midfield? And how did it go in the game that you saw Liverpool Newcastle earlier this season?
Yeah, our midfield's looking knackered. I mean, playing now, we've got 3 minutes left. Extra time. If we play extra time, that's not good for us at all. That's not good for us at all, because Gravenberch is starting to tire now. He's dropped off massively in the last few games. I think McAllister's kept his. I think he's improved in the last couple of games. It's been class tonight. McAllister's probably one of our best players out there. Szoboszlai, always full of energy. But yeah, that midfield's massive. Gimenez is sensational. Tonali has changed the way Newcastle have been. I think Tonali was a key sign. I think when you signed him, though, I said is going to be the sign of the season for the Premier League, but obviously then the ban came and sort of threw my guess out on the window. But I think since he's come back, he's changed the way, just his experience and his ability to control the game and his ability to read the game, I think has allowed Guimaraes to be better. And Guimaraes is already sensational as it is. But that the midfield battle's certainly won. I think tonight's a massive impact on Sunday, I think, regarding that midfield, especially because, like I said, Gravenberch is already dropping off in terms of tiredness. And we're not going to not play Gravenberch. It's a cup final. We're not going to play in Endo. I thought it didn't even rest Gravenberch against Southampton. He's not going to not play him against Newcastle in the cup final. So that midfield is certainly that's where games are win and lost anyway, midfield. But that's the one place I'm looking at on Sunday where we could potentially lose because of the tiredness. Everywhere else I'm quite happy about, but the midfield,
Yeah, so it's a worry for you guys. I mean, as you're saying, I'm sure they'll bring out this old adage about how big the pitch is at Wembley and all the rest of it. when you're talking about the legs when it gets to the weekend, they always bring that out in every cup final. But say one thing you do have, Damon, you have, say, if Newcastle have got the X factor of Isak, you've got the X factor of Salah. Obviously, big game player as well, big sort of moment. Do you think it could be? I mean, cup finals quite often are won by moments, and you certainly have a player there that is in red hot form, and is probably hard to put anybody above him in world football at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he is a big game player. I think people don't realise that about Salah. When they talk about debates between Salah and other people, they don't realise how much of a big game player he has been. Man United games, Man City games, finals, big competition games in Champions League as well. He's been huge. He's been absolutely huge. So, Sunday is going to be key. And like you said, that pitch is wide. So we're going to be using that width. So he's going to be key. Also, Lewis Hall out, just like you with Trent Alexander-Arnold out. Looking at your wingers, taking advantage of that. We could take advantage of Lewis Hall being out. That's massive for them. And with Salah being on that side, it's even more so. Yeah, and he's just been clutch this season, Salah. Even when he's not played well, he's always been clutch. Always come up with a goal, assist or something, and it set up perfectly for him for a final. And obviously, we didn't play him last year, did we? In the final, it was a kids' game for us. We still managed to win the game. So it'd be nice to see them properly in the final. We haven't seen them for a while in the final.
It'll be interesting. Daz, is Salah's the big worry, surely, from your side into something special from the other side?
Yeah, always is, and it looks like it's going to be Tino Livramento who will be up against him, with Lewis Hall out. Lewis Hall, who had a great game against him, even though he still lost, but he did play really well up against him. I'm just thinking in my head now, this game is going on. Let's say it goes to that extra time. Do we want Liverpool to win then after that? Because if you think of the coefficient as well, because we've got to keep the eye on that fifth spot. And there's still, there's still one think, at least we're still in the Champions League as well. Or do we want them to go out and the negative mindset that might come with that? It's out of our hands anyway, whatever happens either way, but it is very interesting.
It's difficult, isn't it? Either way, because there's narratives, isn't there? They win the games, you said they get the positive. They lose, but then if they also lose, they want to respond on Sunday. There's so many different things that come to that. However it kind of comes to it, but and so one thing we have to touch on, Pete. Obviously, the long wait for a Newcastle trophy, and that obviously is what you guys are dreaming of on a Sunday night. Is Monday booked out the diary? There's nothing going on, nothing planned.
St. Patrick's Day here in Ireland.
I wish.
I'm going to say drinking after a loss.
For me, it'll be a normal working day, but after my working day's finished, I will be celebrating, that's for sure. But hopefully we'll be celebrating into the night Sunday that we win, because it will for all of us, it will just be history. For a significant part of this fan base, we would have never seen Newcastle United ever win a major trophy. We've won the Championship when we got promoted back up to the Premier League, but it's not considered the same. It's not the same as winning a major trophy. And whereas some teams are very particular, they don't see the Carabao Cup as being important, but it is to us. It's a major trophy. We want to win that. It's crucial for our next phase of our build of this project under our new owners. They want to win a trophy and then go on to build and develop on the back of that. It guarantees European football. It has so much importance to us for so many different reasons. It's absolutely crucial that we can go there and be competitive. But the issue is the obvious, is that we're playing against arguably the best team in Europe right now. And you just cannot get away from the fact that they are a formidable team. I mean, even tonight against a fantastic PSG team, PSG have had to clear 2 or 3 off the line just to stop them from scoring goals tonight. And, PSG's defense is far superior to ours. So you're looking at that. If they bring that same energy on Sunday, it's going to be really hard to stop them. But it's a one-off game. And we've seen down the years the likes of Birmingham, the likes of Wigan that have gone up against the Arsenals and the Man Cities and in cup competitions and won and beat them and been the difference. And you just hope that we can be that team that turns up on the day and creates that moment of magic that just wins the game for Newcastle. And yeah, it just look, it doesn't take away from Liverpool in any way, but I think it would just mean more to us if we won this. Liverpool are going on to lift the Premier League title, but this will just be like a warm-up for them in one sense. For us, this is everything, absolutely everything. And so I really do hope that we first off put a performance in, second off finally score at Wembley. Jeez, I think Shodan Miobi was the last one to score in a cup semi-final, I think it was, and it wasn't even at Wembley. That was at the Millennium Stadium. So the last Newcastle player to score, I believe, was Rob Lee in a semi-final, I believe, against Chelsea at Wembley. And so I'd love Newcastle United to score, put a performance in, and then pray that we can win the match. But look, we're in the final. We deserve to be there. We're in with a chance.
They certainly are, and it's going to be, as I say, for this one going in sort of neutral. It's an exciting final because you know that Newcastle and that history of wanting to win and the fever pitch of fans are going to bring to do it is going to bring something incredible to Wembley, and they're going to go all out to try and win it. And then, as you said, like Liverpool have been so formidable and turn up in cup finals. You know, this is a Liverpool team that have that pedigree, that have that way of getting over the line, and we've seen it. As Damon said last season, you know, the kids they're still there. Do you know what I mean? It's not they don't go away. They don't wilt in cup finals, and it's going to be very, very tight. I think we confirm it is extra time now, Damon. Is that for sure? It's definitely another 30 minutes of the Champions League to go before you can think of an EFL Cup final.
We'll take it. We take whatever.
We'll play kids again. It's fine. We'll play the kids again. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine.
Okay.
You've done it before.
Take it. We'll take anything we can get, David, honestly. We really can.
Take anything you can do with it. So Damien, I think Pete just mentioned quickly, we'll wrap up on the cup finals shortly. But what's your mindset of it going in as a Liverpool fan? As you said, like the Premier League is the one. That's the dream that is, you know, we're all pretty sure that's happening. So that's a date kind of in your diary coming up. The Champions League, we'll see what happens kind of tonight. But how are you feeling about the Carabao Cup final? Are you excited? How big are you seeing it? What's the view from Liverpool's perspective?
A trophy is a trophy. And I take every single trophy as not with the same sort of look at it, because obviously Premier League and Premier League are the biggest ones. But I want to win every trophy, and I think Slots feels the same way. I think majority of Liverpool fans, I think there probably Liverpool fans out there that say it's like a Mickey Mouse tournament, what people call it, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's a football. It's a trophy. It's a major trophy. It adds to our legacies, and it also gives us the confidence to go in for the rest of the season. Because if we stay in the Champions League, winning the League Cup in March it instills that sort of belief in everyone else. Look, we've got our first trophy under the belt, and Slot's first trophy. That can't be overlooked. That cannot be overlooked. And to do it against a good Newcastle side as well, it can only bleed confidence. So I'm looking at it and thinking, let's do this, and especially when we've got Premier League for a month now, April, we've got Premier League now, so it's a good chance to build some momentum, I think. And yeah, I always take every cup seriously. I mean, last season we won it, and yeah, it's another trophy hopefully added to the numbers and become the biggest club in the world. Not in the world, but definitely biggest club in England at the moment. Yeah, that trophy, especially getting another Premier League title.